Okay, friends, we're about ready to get started over here. Just checking the audio and make sure everything's working okay. Okay, sounds like we got some audio. Gonna get started over here. Cool. Ba-ba-ba-ba-da. Ba-ba-ba-ba-da. Ba-da-ba-ba-da. Hey everybody, how's everybody doing tonight? I hope you're doing okay and you're having a good night tonight. And it's Saturday night. It's ready for the jam session. You know, a little late getting here. I had a long day at work today and wanted to get up, and get this YouTube live stream rolling a little bit. Don't have a whole heck of a lot of time tonight. I got a big project that I'm trying to get done, but I wanted to not miss tonight so I could hang out with you friends. I get so excited just to hang out with you guys and spend a little time with you. And appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to hang out with your buddy Paulie here and talk some visual storytelling and having some fun. Super appreciate you stopping by. If this is your first time stopping by the channel, consider subscribing. It's super appreciated. It's hit that bell notification button so it lets you know next time I have a video posted. But it's such a joy, and I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to sort of hang out with me, whether you're watching here live with me or if the time isn't right that you're watching this on the replay. We're going to be talking about thumbnailing real quick. I'm going to just thumbnail a sequence. Don't have a lot of cycles tonight to go through a bunch of stuff, and so this one might be a little quicker in terms of knocking things out. Buddha Belly, how you doing? I hope you're having a great weekend and you're enjoying yourself, putting in those art chops and that art mileage and pencil mileage. I hope you're doing well with what you're doing. So thumbnailing. Let's talk about it and discuss a little bit. And we're going to do a little bit of thumbnailing together. I was thinking of doing like a Tibetan temple, type of thing. Somebody climbing the mountains to go into a Tibetan temple and to talk to the monks in the monastery or something, for higher learning or whatever. So we'll play around with that sort of idea. But thumbnailing is a great way to quickly jot down, in a sense, your shots. And I do a lot of thumbnailing. I enjoy thumbnailing. It really, you use it's just quick little sketches or, not a lot of drawing time into this, but you're sort of feeling out your shots, you're feeling out, your cinematic shots, how you're going to tell your story, and sort of they're quick and quick, dirty little drawings that you can get done real quick and sort of scope out before you start making investments into tones and color or just a lot of detail in your drawings. I tend to try to work really quick and just jot those lines down. When I'm thumbnailing on paper, I always find, for me, it's just using pens are usually the best way. And if I'm thumbnailing on paper, like a lot of you friends know, I'll usually use a pen. I'll use like a Bic pen, something like that, or I'll use that Pilot G2 type ink pen. And then I have my my Sharpies. I'll sit there and be one other pen might be just a grayscale Copic marker that I might do real quick if I'm drawing traditionally on paper. Traditionally on paper. If I'm drawing digitally, I'll try to do the same sort of thing in Photoshop or another program in terms of what I'm doing. But my main goal, and a lot of people have asked, do you storyboard and thumbnail while you're reading the script? Definitely. You'll find me, doing little doodad drawings on the sides of a script. So if I see it in my mind's eye, I'm like, man, I'm going to jot that down real quick and get that image down and have some fun with it. Or, I'm just storyboarding a sequence, I'll have a bigger piece of paper and just do these little drawings. There's a lot of people I've been impressed with, other storyboard artists that super enjoy their work and look up to, and things like that. Robert Valley being one of those people that I've spent, had the opportunity to talk with a little bit. We don't know each other personally, but I was on a couple different group sessions where I got to ask him a bunch of questions. And if you're not familiar with Robert Valley's work, he's been also nominated for an Animation Academy Award, and he started off. I remember he was working on Peter Chung's Aeon Flux during the late '80s, early '90s. He's done a lot of. I know he worked on Tron. He worked on Vin Diesel's some Riddick animated series. He's probably worked on a bunch of different things. But one of the things that always impressed me about Robert's work is he draws really small, and when he's thumbnailing, and he sort of draws the size of a quarter, just a regular quarter, and doesn't draw very much bigger than that. And that's a great way to conserve your lines and not draw very much, is by drawing so small. And that was one of his tips and tricks that he did, is just drawing really minute, small little drawings to get that. I see a lot of people who do that because you don't have a lot of space to do a lot of drawing. So we're going to play around with that sort of style tonight a little bit, and sort of try to draw small so we don't put a lot of detail in. We stay focused on what the shot is and what our story is, and how we're working with that. So hang tight with me, have some fun. Like I said, subscribe to the channel. Super appreciate it. It helps us support the channel, help us grow. And drop a like and a comment on the particular video if you're enjoying yourselves. But got some good friends hanging out with me tonight. I got Buddha Belly always here, and hopefully you're doing well yourself, Buddha Belly. So let's get into the drawings and have some fun here. So let me go to Little Polly. Don't forget to go to Little Polly. Boom. There we go. Little Polly here. Hi, it's Little Polly. And over here, I got some panels sort of putting together real quick. I'm going to do a few things now to throw down here. It's a little bright. I've been working all day, and I'm just like, my eyes are bugging me like crazy. So let's sort of, oops, I don't want to do that later. Let's create a layer real quick, and I like to work in an off-tone gray so the screen isn't as crazy. So I'm going to do that right now. Just not as bright. Cool. And what's sort of cool is I got the panels already set up, and you can sort of see what I have cooking here. And you can sort of see I got a 8.5 by 11 page going on here, and I got all the sort of the picture frames here ready to get going and get drawing. And we're going to start drawing. We're going to do sort of a Tibetan monk monastery type of thing, and sort of how we can work with that and quickly sort of thumbnail this out. I could go smaller in some of these drawings, but I think what I'll do is to, instead of going smaller in the size of the panel, I'll go bigger in my paintbrush size and sort of work that way. Cool. Buddha Belly says, "Hey, Polly, awesome. I still have more panels to drop for my story. Small is so helpful. Lots of laughs." Yeah, cool. Yeah, I know. When you work small or just using a bigger tool, you can sort of fill that box real quick for that particular story. So, okay. So let's sort of look at this panel here. And what happens is if we go and have a layer in there real quick. So if I'm drawing right now and just hanging out, and if I'm using, sometimes I work really small, like a 4, brush size of 4. You can add a lot of little detail and stuff like that. But if we get rid of that and we pump up that brush, maybe Let's see what a 24-inch brush. You know, you could sort of get the idea a little bit quicker when you're filling that panel. You know, it's not gonna have so much detail in it when you're working this size. And we can go a little bit thicker too. Let's go 35 and just sort of see what that looks like. And what we're trying to do is just block out, you know, those shots. And just work real quick in terms of what we're doing. And when you're working really thick, you're not. That's sort of a cool thing, you know. When you're drawing your people, or you know, your figures or whatever, you can work a little bit with this. Just sort of thinking out loud. Okay, so we're gonna try to stick around with that type of brush size. It works pretty good. Okay, let's turn that off. Let's add a new layer on here, and let's have some fun with this. We're gonna just board really quick. Keep it quick, keep it simple. Might even keep it at that sort of size so I can work quick in terms of what I'm doing here. Okay. So we need an establishing shot. We can work a few different ways in terms of how we're working too. And let's sort of play around with this a little bit. Get myself a quick mental image here. I'm just sort of thinking we're blocking it out. We want to show that we're in the Arctic or the Nepal type area, you know, so I might just be thinking out loud, or something like this, where we're in the Himalayas, or you're just working quick. You're just trying to tell that story. You know, so I'm in the Himalayas somewhere. Just thinking maybe we, you know, we're in the Himalayas. We have, you know, maybe we could try a shot where we're gonna raise up in that. We're gonna pan up or tilt up in that shot. You know, in terms of what we're doing, maybe we might have, as I'm thinking here, I'm just thinking out loud as we're thinking about what we're doing. We just keep it simple. And I'm just sort of thinking here. Just different aspects of the shot. Maybe we can, so while we're going through this too, remember, let's mark these panels. Let's say that's 1, 2. We're just working really fluid. It's just sort of easy. Just trying to establish what's going on. And, maybe we might have, we either move left or right. We can pan left or right. And we'll see what we can do. Or we can tilt up or down, something like that. The other thing we could do with this shot too, we could just say there's a person here. Either there, or we can skip that person. We can show that in a couple minutes here. Got our shot, okay, and I'm just sort of thinking that this is for this panel 3. Maybe we got number 3. We're gonna use this shot. We're gonna move this shot up like that. Cool, we're going pretty quick here. That's what these need to be. They're just telling the story really quickly. And let me just see here. That shot, cool. And maybe we shoot some sort of temple type of thing. Maybe we have the temple over here. And it's part of the mountain. Temple's right there. And I'm just sort of thinking out loud. In terms of how we're working here. Just going back and forth. Sheer cliffs. Temple's right there. In terms of what we're doing here. Just sort of maybe we have our steps to the temple. terms of what we're doing. So we're sort of have that close up, and we're working small. We're just sort of working here and just sort of trying to figure out what we're doing here. Like I said, we're just thinking right now. We got our monastery. Maybe there's some sort of bell. Snow and whatever else. Okay, so we're gonna tilt up or pan up or something like that. So let's see. Back to the chat real quick. Marianne Gr, hey, I'm late. I didn't see the notification. Hey, no worries. I was a little late myself. I'm just trying to. Didn't want to miss tonight, so we're talking about thumbnailing tonight and doing a quick thumbnail storyboard. You know, in terms of what we're doing, I sort of have a. We're in Nepal right now. We're trying to go to a Tibetan monk, or a monastery here and have some characters. So we've done 3 shots so far. We'll continue going with this and just sort of having fun with this. And so Marianne, welcome. Glad you're able to make it. Buddha Belly, I got mine late too. Okay, and does everyone get a grayscale? Does everyone get a grayscale? I don't understand that question. Buddha Belly, does everyone get a grayscale? I'm just working in grayscale right now. I'm just using black right now. And depending on my pressure sensitivity, it creates the grays on this one. So, okay, cool. Let me throw a quick save on. Okay, so we're right here. Okay, so we're establishing this right now. I want to establish that there's some sort of character in there. Do you do gray tone on every thumbnail? I usually try to keep it black and white, but the way my pen is working on the pressure sensitivity, it gives you sort of a grayscale, in terms of what you're doing. If I'm just using a thicker pen, in terms of what I'm doing. If I was using a solid black, that I could do that too. Just happens to be. Let me see if I can change that pen too. And then Odd 10 Cafe. Hey, how's it going? Good to see you. Okay, so let's continue going. And the next shot I have here, I want to see somebody. See if I can change this pen a little bit. Change the flow. Trying to see if I can get that pen to. I think if I shrink it, it'll keep it a little bit more solid. Cool. Okay, well, let's get this character. We want a character introduced in terms of what we're doing. Just sort of thinking. Here. And maybe we're showing. Some sort of character. Walking up these steps. sort of create that. And then with your thumbnails, you're just trying to create the general boards. You're not really trying to create any type of finished stuff. We're just sort of trying to tell our story in terms of what we're doing. Odd10 Cafe says, Paul, you've inspired me to use Sharpies in my traditional drawings. It's really teaching me how to build confidence in my shapes. Super cool. Man, that means the world to me. Um, Getting that feedback. Thanks so much. I sincerely appreciate that. Um, it's just so awesome that you're getting the most out of our videos here in the live streams. It means so much to me. I'm so humbled with the advice, and I'm glad you're getting more confident. And that's the whole point why I use pens, is I don't have time to play around. You want to sort of get to the point of what you're trying to do and move on to the next drawing. These drawings, I'm not trying to fall in love with it. I can get reference of Nepal and do a bunch of different stuff, but you just want to sort of quickly get the lines down real quick so you can tell your story. But very cool. I'm very impressed. Thank you, and keep going on your great work. Okay, so we're back over here. We got some shots we've put together so far. We're going to play with this a little bit more. We got this character coming into the shot. He's walking up some sort of staircase or something like that. Just sort of thinking of what's next in terms of what I'm doing here, and I'm just sort of thinking here. We want to show the cold and all that stuff too, so let me come up with something real quick so we can show this. Maybe I'll shrink my brush just a tad bit here. Maybe we might have some sort of breath or something so we can show that. Some sort of temple bell thing or something here. Just sort of making this up as we're going along. Some sort of flags or something you would see. Just got some sort of because it's cold. In terms of what we're doing here. So he's walking up those steps, just different shots of him walking up those steps. Let's go over here. So this would be 1, 2, 3. This would be 4, 5. Walking up these steps here. You can see quickly how quickly we're working making this up. And then maybe we want to introduce our character real quick. And maybe we just have him there too. So maybe we just go and get that thicker line. Let's just say we have him here. Let's grab his head here. Shrink that down just a tad bit. Like I said, you want to keep things sort of simple so you sort of get the idea. In terms of what we're doing here. I'm going to show that breath. And we have a little bit more character here. As we're throwing this together real quick. He's looking there. And then let's show him walking some more. He's going up to that monastery. thicker pen. As we're busting this out, whoops. Ooh, I hope I didn't just ruin everything. Oh man. Oh no. Oh, I really did it. Oh, that's a bummer. Oh, oh man. What happened? Oh, smoke. Oh, Polly made a mistake there. Holy smokes. Okay. Ay, 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 ay. Shameful, shameful, shameful. Ah! Oh man, I messed that one up. Holy smoke. Well, that's, oh man, I don't remember how many I saved to go. No, we don't want to save that. No. Let's see what the damage was. Oh, ouch. Okay, so that teaches you to save all the time, friends. Layers and everything else. Ah, man. Bummer. Okay, well, that's the way it goes sometimes. Okay, let's try this again. Oh, that stinks. Working so fast and you're tired and it happens. Okay, so we got the paw, we got the, you know, we're going up in the thing. Ah, smoke. Okay, I think we had that guy walking up the staircase in that shot. So, okay, we'll try it again. It happens, friends. Let's get this guy here. Let's go to his jacket. There. Nope, it didn't work. I hit it one more time and it accidentally hit it one more time. Yeah, that's the way it goes sometimes. Maybe it might turn out better. Try that. So he's walking up the steps. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe we'll do a better job. In terms of what we're doing. Okay, and then we had him. We wanted to show the him up on top, so maybe try that one more time. This it helps to work fast. So if you make a mistake, you can quickly catch yourself again there. Just want to have some scale with this guy. Try this again. Coming through. I think we had some sort of monument there, and there. Show some distance there. Five. As we're thinking through this thing. So we're working through this. This is walking up those steps. File save. That shot's a little too similar. So one of the things I can do is grab our guy, edit. As he's coming up those steps. The next shot we had. Is we have a close-up of our guy, our explorer. Look this way. Because one of the things I wanted to see his breath. Let's go stick there. As we're thumbnailing this out. That's what we're doing here. This brush is not kind to me today. Hiking up. Six. Okay. I had him continuing to walk up the mountaintop. That's where I left off. Sort of have like a swooping thing. We'd want to see his silhouette. He's sort of there. It's got that huge landscape to cross. Oops. You can sort of see how quickly we try to board this stuff out. I'm not trying to look for exactness or anything. I'm just sort of go in there, get some where he's off to. He's going up there. Okay. So we got a little bit of a sequence going here. Then we can cut and take out those shots that we don't like and add new ones to it too. I'll take a sip of my drink. Any questions while we're chatting here? Leave it open for a second while I take a sip of my drink. Any questions? Drop it in the chat. Okay, cool. Let's see. I eventually want him to. Throw a save on there real quick. I'm sort of looking at his back. Let me finish this with quick shot out 10 Cafe and I'll answer your question for you. So we got him right there, cool. And I'm just sort of thinking, sort of. I'm just thinking. Okay, cool. Let me put a save on this real quick and then answer your question. Okay, so Ottawa Cafe. Hey Paul, do you have any tips for drawing backgrounds and landscapes? I tend to have trouble not only with establishing shot type environments, but also placing people and objects in an environment. Did you take a landscape painting or drawing class? Do you have a preferred method of tackling it? Do you prefer drawing the characters first and then adding the environment, or vice versa? Good questions, really good questions. Let's back this up a little bit and answer those questions as we're sort of thumbnailing this out. This is pretty rough and in terms of what I'm doing here. Okay, but let's turn this off. Boom, boom, boom. Oop, one more, boom. Okay, so let's turn that off a little bit and sort of let's add a new layer on there real quick, and let's get a bounding box going. Let's talk about backgrounds real quick. When I was taught how to draw, you always draw with a bounding box to get your picture going. Okay, there we go. There's a bounding box. Okay. So let's answer these questions as we're having fun with this landscape type of thing. Let me read that again. Okay. So, hey Polly, do you have any tips for drawing backgrounds and landscapes? I tend to have trouble not only with establishing shots, type environments, but also placing people and objects into an environment. Did you take a landscape painting or drawing class? Do you have a preferred method for tackling it? Do you prefer drawing the characters first and if I, then adding the environment or vice versa? Okay, this is where a little bit of painting, drawing, composition, all these things start paying off for you. And if you've never, I always think of like Bob Ross, you know, doing some landscape painting and stuff like that. I tend to think about Bob Ross and building your structure from either dark to light, light to dark, big to small, small to big, in terms of your composition, in terms of what you're doing. When you're drawing any type of composition, I'm always thinking of, the golden ratio, the rule of thirds. And if you're not familiar with the rule of thirds, it's pretty much just that you would split your screen into thirds, okay, something like this, okay, and these key spots here are where you'd want main focal points. And let's just say I'm drawing a landscape. Let's lighten this up a little bit. I tend to try to think of my background first. So if you're asking that question, oh, to 10 Cafe, I try to think of my background first, and I sort of think of the characters. I think of it like I think a great way to think about it, just a metaphor would be, think of a theater stage. You have a few different things in there in terms of what you're doing. You have your foreground, middle ground, and your background. Okay, so when you're thinking about it, you're like, okay, cool. Here's my background. Here's my middle ground. Here's my foreground. So if I have the person in the foreground here, and in the middle ground, maybe I have some trees. Type of thing. And in the background, I have my mountainscape. So, foreground, middle ground, background. Okay, and as you're looking at it, you're looking at through all those prisms at the same time in terms of what you're doing. So when I'm thinking of a composition for a drawing, I'm thinking of my horizon line. So let's quickly draw a background. Okay, so I'm thinking about my horizon line, and maybe I'm thinking of like this is the horizon line here, and I'm thinking of my perspective. In terms of what I'm doing. So I'm just going to draw in general. I see it in my head, and so as I'm drawing, I'm just going, okay, cool, and maybe I got some like cool cloud systems in here. I just have fun with it. In terms of what I'm doing, maybe there's some sort of distant mountain range in there. Maybe it goes further back in the distance. Okay, and you can sort of see the layers all coming into play, and it's like, well, maybe I have, let me just see what else I want to put in here. Maybe in my foreground I have some sort of trees I'm just thinking out loud. In terms of what I'm doing, I'm just sort of thinking of all these things as I'm going through and drawing that drawing, and then maybe the character that I'm looking for might be right here. And maybe that character is right there. Okay, so I'm sort of putting that composition together. I want that character on one of those main points in terms of what I'm doing, you know. And then we can play around with tones to sort of create depth in that drawing too. So if I have some trees here, think of this as your foreground. As I'm drawing this together. And then from there, I'm showing the depth of the trees. And sort of you see how tone creates some depth in there. You can sort of see this setting come together for you. Maybe it's nighttime or something like that. There's our character. Okay, there's our character. Let's bring him to the... This is our character, so we want him to pop out. So what happens is he pops out because he's the brightest object in the painting or drawing here. And maybe he's a prisoner. Type of thing, you know. That's how I'd sort of lay out like a background or whatever type of thing. I don't like the prisoner threat, but that's how you would make him stand out there in terms of what you're doing. I hope that helps you out, Ode 10 Cafe. But using that sort of scenario in terms of what you're doing, I tend to draw my background first, and then I'll put my character into that background. Cool. I hope that answers your question. Let me know. Time is it? 1 o'clock. Cool. There's different ways you can work on that. Another quick way is to, if I'm going to draw a quick background, like a mountain background, you could also use your lasso tool. So if I'm drawing some crazy, you know, background, I can quickly do something like this too. Just use the lasso tool if I'm quickly This is another cheat way. Love creating quick backgrounds. And the same type of thing applies. There's a couple different quicker ways that you can, cut through this real quick to try to create those backgrounds. Just some. You sort of get the idea, and it's a quick way to try to create a quick background of palm trees and things like that. And so use that lasso tool. That's another quick tactic too. So I hope that helps out as well. Cool. Okay, so we created quite a few thumbnails today. Just sort of this Tibetan thing, and maybe the monk will come into the shot and those type of things. But it gives you an idea of how quickly that you can knock out your thumbnails just using two colors in a sense, and put that together quickly, keeping your images simple. And then as you go through your iterations, you can get a little bit more detail, get some reference, do those type of things as you're going along with your storyboards. I got to cut a little bit short tonight, my friends, because I have to have a big project I have to finish up tomorrow morning, but I wanted to spend some time with you tonight with our storyboard jam session to talk about thumbnailing and keeping those images simple. Odd 1O Cafe asked for a really great quick little demonstration on backgrounds and how to use the rule of thirds. You could other things you could do is use your golden ratio, a bunch of different things to put together your compositions. Another thing too I would do Odd 1O Cafe is go sit down and draw your surroundings, whether you're in a cityscape or a countryside or whatever, and draw what you see in doing that. And I hope that helps you all out. If you guys enjoyed the live stream today, please subscribe to the channel. Super appreciate that. I want to thank Buddha Belly, Odd 1O Cafe, Marianne GR, thanks for jumping on to the live stream tonight. And for you friends at home that are watching this on the replay, super appreciate you taking the time to watch this live stream and sort of watch the replay as well. Thank you so much. I hope you learned a few things today as we did the live stream. Again, don't forget to drop a comment and a like on this particular video. I'd super appreciate it. I will see you guys next week and for our Monday session. And I look forward to spending a little bit more time than I had for tonight. But thanks for hanging out with me tonight. You guys have a great rest of your weekend, and I will catch you on the next live stream. Till then, take care. Keep drawing and keep telling your stories. Talk to you soon. Have a good night.